I'm holding up pretty good. Okay, so I'm coming in here because they invited me to a party. I never, I never refused going to a party. So I'm walking down the street. This guy comes up to me. I guess they call him a baby boomer. He says, "Babe," and everybody knows my records, right? All those home runs and RBIs. He says, "Babe, what do you think you would have hit against modern day pitching?" I said, "Well, I don't know, probably about 250, 50 home runs, 50 RBIs. He says, "Babe, you're selling yourself kind of short." I said, "Yeah, but I'd be 119 years old when I was doing it." Ba-boom.
Is that a real outfit?
This is a 1919 Boston Red Sox.
So it is a real one, yeah.
Right?
Oh.
This bat right here was one of the bats that I had made in Louisville. It's a Louisville Slugger.
I see.
Just for Babe Ruth. Right.
Looks like a mother-in-law bat.
What's that?
A mother-in-law bat.
Oh, I don't want to get into that. But people ask me, they say, "Babe, what is your greatest thrill in baseball?" Won 4 world championships, a lot of pennants, records, and stuff like that. What was your greatest thrill? And people don't believe this. When my daughter graduated from high school, right here in Sudbury, Mass, was playing for the Yankees. My daughter was graduating that Sunday from Sudbury High School. Of course, I never went to high school. You all know my story. So I go up to Miller Huggins, who was the manager at the time. We didn't get along all that well. He says, "Coach, Skip, can I go to Sudbury?" He let me go for that day. It was unbelievable. I got to tell you people about growing up at St. Mary's Industrial School for Boys. I don't know if people know about this, but when I was about 7 years old, but first of all, I was running around the neighborhood, and the cops would bring me back home sometimes, and they told my parent, "This kid is incorrigible. He needs to be locked up." So I was about 7 years old. One day my father comes up to me. He says, "George, why don't you come with me? We're going to go to your new home." I said, "New home? What do you mean, no new home?" So we go on the trolley and we go down to St. Mary's Industrial School for Boys. Knock on the door. Guy comes up to me, Brother Matthias. He says, "George, this is your new home." Yeah, and I spent 7 years old to about 19 years old at the Industrial School for Boys. First experience with baseball. I'll tell you one thing. When I was at St. Mary's Industrial School, the big treat was a hot dog and a soda on Sunday if you were a good kid. People say, "Why do you eat all those hot dogs when you were a pro?" Okay, that's the reason why. I remember one day, they didn't have loudspeakers in those days, but someone announced, "Babe," they didn't say Babe, they said, George, report to the principal's office." Oh man, I said, "Oh man, I'm in trouble here. I'm about 18 years old, I'm going to get kicked out or something like that." So we go up there, and Brother Matthias and Brother Gilbert and this guy Jack Dunn, who was a scout for the Baltimore Orioles of the International League. He says, and I remember Brother Gilbert says, "Babe, this is Jack Dunn, and he wants you to sign a professional contract.
Wow.
It's for $150 for 3 months." I didn't know. I says, "Brother, I don't think I can afford that." He says, "No, they pay you. Don't worry about it. They pay you." Right.
Is that true? That anecdote?
That's not really true. It could have happened.
Yeah.
It could have happened. People say, "Babe, how did you get that name, Babe Ruth?" Babe, where did that come from? Okay. This is how it really happened. My first venture out of St. Mary's home in Baltimore, when I signed with the Baltimore team of the International League, was in North Carolina, Fayetteville, North Carolina. First time I'd ever been on a train out of the reform school. So I get to the hotel, and a lot of the players were veterans. I was young, I was a young guy. So I remember going up and down in the elevator. First time I'd ever been in an elevator. All right. And some of the older guys, started calling me Jack Dunn's Babe because he signed a lot of players, a lot of younger players. So it was Jack Dunn's Babe. That's how I get my nickname, Babe Ruth.